Hi, welcome to Data Science. This is Vivian here. Today we are going to look at different Python data types. Now we have already worked with variables, and variables have some values, which is also called as data, and they belong to a particular type. There are basically 5 different data types that are available, which are integer, float, Boolean, complex, and strings. So let's look at some of them in our examples. So let's create a new Python notebook. And if you can see, these Python notebooks are stored in .ipynb files. If you ever see these files anywhere, that means that you can open them in your Python notebook. So I can go here. Now what are the different data types I mentioned? First one is integers. Let's look at them. So if I say a equal to 5, this is an integer data type. I can always say type of a, and it will tell me what type of data type it carries, which is number 5 is an integer, so that's why it's saying the type of a is 5. If I changed a to, let's say, hello world, and now say type of a, it will tell me that it's of the type string. So this is how you define strings, by using double quotes or single quotes. There's also something for triple quotes, but we'll look at that later. So we saw integer, we saw string. Floats are usually defined by a decimal point. For example, 3.56 is a type float. So if I display this here, you'll see that it's a float type. Other than that, I mentioned that there is a data type called as Boolean, which is true or false values. So I can say true. Type of C is Boolean. So this carries only two values, either true or false, and they are defined as something like this, true or false. You can display them out. And the last one that we have is something called as complex. This you probably have seen or might not seen it. It's usually is divided into a real and an imaginary value. For example, 3 plus 6j, where 3 is the real part and 6 is an imaginary part. You probably, if you have seen it in some other languages or somewhere else, you probably have seen 3 plus ji, which I stand for imaginary, but here we use j in Python. And if I say type of d, it will say complex. So this is a complex type of a variable. So we have different types, as you see here: integer, float, string, Boolean, and complex. So these are different data types that are available in Python.